we are here at the Bergische Universität Wuppertal at the Political Culture and Active Citizenship Conference, and we are here with Professor Peter Spáč from the Masaryk University in Czech Republic, but also a specialist and a national from Slovakia. And so I was wondering if you could maybe explain us a little bit, what is the status of direct democracy in Slovakia? What are the instruments available to people in Slovakia?
Yeah, thank you. The basic one is referendum. We have it since 1993, so since the country has been established. And we are using it quite often. However, the we is not we, it's political parties mainly. They use it as a tool for their own purposes. So people are in fact engaged in the referendum, but they are not the main actor. They are those who are voting, but they are not those who are deciding, I would say.
So why don't citizens use this tool? Because it is possible to gather signatures.
It's possible. You have to gather 350,000, which is about 8% of all people, which is quite a lot for normal citizens to acquire such an amount. It's mainly for bigger actors such as parties. And people have different ways how to express their opinion than just referendum, which is a huge organization. You need to make campaign and so on, take some time, energy and so on. So people use typically election. People discuss with people, with their own representatives. And nowadays they use Facebook, they use Twitter and so on. So referendum is a huge thing for one person.
Yeah. So you think that, would you say that maybe the political culture isn't there yet in Slovakia, that people are just less, are they less interested in participating, or do they feel their participation isn't useful?
Well, maybe they see the record of the referendums. We had 8 and 7 of them were not valid, so it's kind of a risky business to do it, and you can be quite sure that it will not be valid if you try anyways. So I think that people are capable of doing this voting. They have 5 or 6 elections during 4 years, which is quite a lot. And I think they do not need to do anything else than elections. For example, now we have huge demonstrations in Slovakia, and it's something big. We are not a nation that demonstrates every day, every week, or every month. Something big has to happen to push the people in the streets. So we are not the most active nation in Europe, definitely.
What did happen? Because at the moment Slovakia is seeing the biggest demonstrations in 30 years since the fall of communism, effectively. So could you explain a little bit what happened?
Well, it's not a happy story, definitely.
No, probably not.
2 weeks ago there has been a shooting. A journalist and his fiancée were shot at their home, and has been found out that the journalist was working on some links between political parties in the government and some business companies on some organized crime, and he found these links, which of course might not be the reason for his murder. I don't know, maybe he was murdered for different reasons, but definitely these findings have pushed people to the streets. And now people at first were gathering on social networks. On Facebook they were creating some groups to commemorate the journalist and his fiancée, but now it's in fact against the government, and people are demanding the government to at least to dismiss the people who are found to be connected to these strange and risky business circles.
Just one more question about the referendum, because you said from 8 referendums that were held in Slovakia, 7 were not valid. This is because of very high thresholds. We need a 50% turnout and then a majority of people to vote in favor. What are the consequences of this high threshold?
Well, one thing to say is that Slovakia is a country that has the highest turnout in general election, and it's about 60%. All the other elections have lower turnout, even the referendums. So it's very hard to gather 50% of people to on one day for voting. The consequence is that typically only people who vote in accordance with the whole idea of the referendum, so in fact voting for the yes option, attend, while the others stay at home, because it's the best way how to in fact destroy the referendum. Because with the low turnout you can have all people voting for yes, but it's not anything binding. So if you are opposing the idea of the initiator, you just stay at home and it's over.
So it's actually not conducive to participation. Do you see any Will this change in the future? Are there any possibilities for change?
It's quite hard if you have these 7 referendums which were not valid. So now try to persuade people it's worth going to the referendum and try your luck. Maybe shifting the threshold, at least to lower it below the 50%, or to not bind it with the turnout, but to bind it with some portion of people voting either for yes or no. This would give some sense, because now if you are voting yes, you are attending. If you want to vote no, you stay at home and it's over. If the threshold would be bound not to turn out, then everybody could vote without any fear that I will not support the turnout and risk that the other camp will win. So maybe this, but since 1993 no major activities has been done to change this. So I don't expect any changes in this regard.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.